Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and it's the Premier League. Normally the most entertaining league in the world, but I tell you what, they've got to go some to keep up with the likes of Serie A and Bundesliga. We did okay over the weekend. The banker from myself and Big Man. Just get on, we said. Just get on, plus 140. Liverpool win to 0. Never in doubt. Brighton coming in at plus money. But there was a few shaky ones as well. Now, before we go and see the boys, we've got Big Man and we've got Martin. Then please, if you like this video, then subscribe, press the button, ring the bell. You ring the bell, then we will notify you and never miss any content again. And there's so much content and you certainly don't want to be missing it. Because also we're doing a 6-match parlay. We did 2 in La Liga, 2 in Serie A. And we're going to give you the final keys to the door today with another 2. Also, if you press the link in the description, that will take you to the articles wrote by Martin or Alex or Dave. And there's not just soccer articles over there. There's other sports by other writers. Now, and remember, the thumbs up, that's important because you're showing appreciation to both Big Man and Martin. I want to come to you first, Big Man. Up and down, Big Dipper, frustrating weekend in the Premier League.
Yeah, it definitely was. I didn't do well myself, but you have those weeks where you just can't seemingly find some of the big prices. I know for a lot of people, Man City let a lot of people down in their parlays. I was surprised at Wolves' performance. I thought they were pretty dire. I didn't really understand what went on there. But, yeah, I mean, it's another week. Premier League's fast and furious, so a lot of opportunities to make money.
Yeah, I mean, I was like kicking myself a little bit because I was watching the Wolves Arsenal game and they stood off Arsenal and went on the water break after 24 minutes. I had a bit of Arsenal at plus 250, but the amount I had on, you'd find more down the back of your sofa or couch. Martin, a few winners, but there was also a few losers.
Yeah, everyone was telling me that Wolves would sweep Arsenal aside, and couldn't believe me when I said that it would be very surprising if Wolves would win a 4th consecutive game. Lo and behold, Arsenal beat them. You just had to look at the strength in depth. Wolves had nobody on the bench. Arsenal brought on 5 decent players with lots of energy in the second half, and that stifled out Wolves' chances of a comeback. Yeah, I think I did okay at the weekend. Had Bruno Fernandes to score at any time for Man United at 2.7. Had Brighton to beat Norwich, a couple of void bets, a couple of losers as well. Yeah, there were a couple of surprise results. I think that's always going to be the case at this time of year when the games are coming in thick and fast. Defenders have got tired legs and different levels of motivation among the teams. But like Big Man said, we got some good games on the cards this weekend and midweek fixtures looking good. So let's get back on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get back on it. But before we do, remember, we're live. So that means you're the 3rd member of this panel. We need your tips. They're normally excellent. Harry Dockett, you're one of my favourites. You know that. Luffy, you're always looking for traps. Barca, you always find the value. So come on, put yourself in the chat. I won't reply, but I will obviously ask Big Man and I'll ask Martin. Well, let's kick straight off. And remember, by the way, little thumbs up for us. We're going to start off with Palace. They've got the oldest squad in the world and they were put to the sword at Leicester at the weekend. Palace plus 500, draw plus 300 and Chelsea at minus 155. Big Man, do we complicate it?
I don't think you do. You look at Chelsea, I mean, playing well. Up front, they've been sharp. Pulisic has added a nice dimension to this side. Williams obviously playing well. Palace has struggled against Chelsea. They've lost 4 in a row. And, I want to kind of talk a little bit about Chelsea's defense. They've actually been quite good lately. They've actually done some good things. 4 clean sheets over the last 7 matches. Really outside of the West Ham game, they've been pretty good defensively. We obviously know Crystal Palace isn't going to offer much going forward. I'm going to actually go with Chelsea and under 3.5 here at even money. I'd see 2-3-0 here. I just don't really see a crooked 3-2 kind of game here. As we know, Crystal Palace is great for unders. They don't really score, and they're still a pretty solid defensive team, only giving up 40 goals in the season. So, yeah, I'm not going to complicate it, but I'm also going to throw in some under 3.5 to kind of get that price to even.
Yeah, it's either under 3.5 or it's over 1.5. I fancy they don't win 1-0 because obviously they only think about going forward, Martin.
Yeah, I had Chelsea in under 3.5 against Watford, and it came in just about. It was a very comprehensive victory for the Blues in the end. Yeah, I think that West Ham game was just a blip, really, an aberration. Overall, they've been very, very strong since the restart, and they really have to keep picking up points. They're under pressure from Man United in that battle for a top four place. So, yeah, they need to keep winning. They're motivated, and Crystal Palace are just drifting towards mid-table obscurity. They're not going to go down. They're not going to qualify for Europe. They've got a small squad. They've got an old squad. Chelsea have got the strength in depth. They've got exciting attackers that they can bring in for this game. And yeah, I fancy them to get the job done. I put down Chelsea in under 4.5 goals at 1.78. But yeah, I wouldn't put anyone off going under 3.5 goals instead for a bit more value.
Okay, Dina says, remember there's no Kante, no Kovacic. No, but they've got another 73 players that are sitting there. Don't worry about that. And remember, they're playing against Palace, who play sideways. They'll only go down the flanks. No one to score goals. So, I mean, you could even go Chelsea win to 0. But for me, I'm not going to complicate it. I'm going to cover the boys. They're going to go under 3.5. I'm going to go over 1.5. I see Chelsea team total over 1.5 as well. And Chelsea win the game. Now, Watford, minus 125 was going to be my banker. Maybe when I was looking 3 or 4 weeks ago. Can you trust them now? Draw plus 300. Norwich plus 425. Jeff, it's one of those. They've got to win. And if they win, then they put that little bit of distance between themselves and the bottom three.
Yeah, but one thing I've learned betting sports for as long as I have, I mean, when you put money on bad teams and just because they have to win, Flash, just because they have to win doesn't mean they're going to. This is a bad side. You got to wonder where the psyche is. I mean, they had to win the other day against Brighton, and they couldn't find a way to do it there. So, for me, I'm not going to put money on bad sides. At the end of the day, Norwich is just a bad side. They haven't gotten, Flash, a result since February. I mean, this is just a awful side. They don't even get results. They've scored 2 goals over the last 10 matches overall. I think Watford needs to kind of find ways to continue to get the job done here. If you're going to say it's a must win, it's a must win for them. They need to take care of business against a bad side. I will say this, though. I'm just really not interested in laying 1.6 or 1.55 with a team like Watford. I'm just not going to do it. This is a pass for me. They should win, but I don't really have any interest in backing Watford either.
Yeah, with the must win, I was actually talking about Watford. I was actually thinking, I didn't even like,
right. Sorry.
Norwich didn't even come into my psyche. I was only thinking about Nigel Pearson.
I was going to say, I was
up.
like, wow, you're actually wanting to back Norwich. But no, same thing. I mean, Watford needs to win, but again, they're kind of to me like a team that, they're not good either, and I just don't want to put money on teams like that. I think that's how you kind of lose when you force stuff. So I'm just going to look elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Don't force it. But Martin, they would have identified this game as an absolute survival 3-pointer.
Absolute must-win game. They're never going to get a better opportunity to return to winning ways than against this abject Norwich side. They've thrown in the towel. They're going back down to the Championship in one fell swoop. This is a game that Watford absolutely should be winning. They were in fantastic form before the break. They haven't managed to recapture that sort of fighting spirit. They've lost all their momentum, but they do have the players to beat Norwich. I really am surprised to see them so far down the table. Teetering just above the relegation zone. If they don't win this game, they're in real trouble. Bournemouth are going to have to pick up a point here and there eventually. So, yeah, they're going to be looking in real danger if they lose this. So, yeah, I'm just going to go for a straight Watford win. Don't complicate it. You've got minus 125 there. That's 1.8 or 4 to 5 in UK odds. Looks like a good price to me on the home side.
It does. Now, here's an interesting game. People say, well, would you trust Arsenal? But listen, they've been doing really well. It's just that lapse in concentration when they went to Brighton. But it's Arsenal at plus 130, draw plus 250, Leicester plus 220. I don't expect the Arsenal plus 130 to hang around, dear Martin, because I'm hearing that Chilwell and Maddison both might be out for Leicester.
Yeah, that would be a massive blow for them. Chilwell's a fantastic left back, and Arsenal are dangerous down the right hand side. Not sure who's going to start there. Mikel Arteta does have options in attack. Yeah, Arsenal made a dreadful resumption to the campaign, but 4 wins in a row now. I think they're starting to gather a bit of momentum ahead of a tough run of fixtures. Yeah, I honestly can't see Arsenal losing this game. I'll probably get stick from the people in the comments because everyone sort of likes to beat up on Arsenal, but they're in good form. They can score goals. They did lose comprehensively to Leicester earlier this season, but James Maddison was on fire that day. So was Yuri Tielemans. He hasn't looked quite at the races since the restart, and if Maddison's out as well, then I really think Arsenal should get a result in this one. Yeah, they're playing pretty well now. Maybe a draw, maybe an Arsenal win. I'm going to go Arsenal draw, no bet. 1.67.
Okay, you always like to go err on the side of caution. Big man, do we expect Leicester to score? They couldn't score a goal and then they get 3 in one game.
Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of looking at this game interesting because I think both sides I have some reservations about. Leicester, obviously, yeah, they did score 3, but look at the opponent. You look at Arsenal; they've only conceded 1 goal in 4 games, but outside of Wolves, look at the opponents. I'm curious to see if this is actually a defense that we can actually trust in. I think at the end of the day, we can't. I think we know sometimes they're just are what they are, but I have no interest in Watford or Leicester on the road. They haven't won on the road, guys, since January 1st. I mean, that was fascinating to me that they've been that poor on the road. Arsenal in form right now. Martin kind of pointing that out. I'm happy with what I'm seeing from them lately. You mentioned the Chilwell injury. You mentioned Madison as well. Both obviously very dire for them. I'm going to go with just Arsenal to win the match, 2.2, 2.3, whatever you can get. We know how good Arsenal is in the Emirates. I'm going to go with them here.
Yeah, I think it is one of those you don't complicate. You go with a home side, or maybe you go with Arsenal. Arsenal score more than 1 goal because Leicester are aging at the back. If there's no Chilwell, they should have a line down that right-hand side. Now, Man City, fresh off that defeat against the mighty Saints, minus 800, draw plus 850. And Newcastle at plus 2,800. And Newcastle now are scoring goals, Jeff.
Yeah, they are. This one, I didn't find much here in this one, to be real honest with you. I mean, I love City. Obviously, De Bruyne didn't play at the weekend, so obviously their attack was a little bit down. But I don't know. I mean, I just didn't really find much here. Some of these games I just kind of skip over. I don't want to really lay goals in this match just because I think Newcastle is tough. They play hard. They always seem to find a goal, but I just had other interest along the way. I'm going to pass on this one.
Martin, have you found any value?
25-1 on Newcastle to win the game. That's value if you think they can pull off an upset. I can't believe there's a Premier League team that are 25-1 to win a single game in 90 minutes, particularly when Southampton just beat Man City.
But the mighty
Saints. It is
the mighty Saints.
The mighty Saints. It is surprising to see Man City lose twice on the bounce. They normally lose and then they rally and thrash the next team they play, which could be a bit worrying for the mighty Saints. But yeah, I'm also inclined to pass this one, to be honest. I was looking at Newcastle plus 2.5 on the Asian handicap. You can get 1.8 on that. So even if they lose by 2 clear goals, you win the bet. Then I was looking at Man City to win and both teams to score, maybe at 3.0. Looks like another interesting option, but not sure I feel confident enough in either play, really. So I think I might skip this one too.
And remember, there's always Man City to win both halves. Go on, Jeff.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something. That's actually a pretty decent point by Martin there. Definitely an astute observation. 25-1 on a Premier League match. I mean, that's the kind of price I would give to like Norwich against Manchester City, not Newcastle, who's a side that does play hard. I mean, we look at the first time these two teams played a few weeks ago or whenever it was due to the pandemic. I kind of get time confused now. But, I mean, look at Man City. They won 2-0. One was a penalty. They didn't concede again until near the 70th minute. Newcastle played pretty hard. They were dominated in possession, but I would agree with Martin. I mean, I think that's worth a couple dollars. That's a wild price on a team like Newcastle. If it were Watford or Villa or Norwich, fine, but Newcastle plays tough.
Okay, well, I mean, it is a bit of it's one of those, just try and find the value. I think Man City win the game, but it's just how we do it. So maybe they win both halves, that might be a way. But obviously, when you start at minus 800, you have to dig pretty deep. Now, Sheffield United at plus 300, draw plus 240, Wolves at plus 115. Do we go with the quality of Wolves in depth? Or do we go with Sheffield United, who bounced back massively with 4 points in the last 2 games, Jeff?
I kind of scan the card every time we have a show to do, or whenever I'm capping, and I kind of try to find one game that I think is a draw. I mean, this screams draw to me. I mean, both teams pretty similar, really sloggy, both pretty solid defensively. Sometimes lack creativity going forward. This just screamed 1-1 to me. I'm willing to take a shot on the price, 3.1. Draw is actually not as good as I wanted it to be, but this just screams 1-1 to me. I'll take a shot with a draw here. I don't see much separating these two. And as you said many times, Flash, if you can't separate them, just go down the middle. So I'm going to go with a stalemate here, 1-1. Could be 0-0. I don't think we see a lot of action in this match.
I mean, this was close to being one of my bankers of being draw half-time. I mean, Wolves are a second-half team. Sheffield United keep it tight. So I thought that this was guaranteed to be 0-0. Worst case scenario, 1-1 at half-time. I just thought, make it a 45-minute match, Martin.
Yeah, funnily enough, I actually wrote down draw 3.2 and draw half-time 1.95. I think they both look like good bets to me. I'd be leaning slightly towards Wolves. They were unimpressive against Arsenal, but I do think they can bounce back against Sheffield United and put in a strong performance. But Sheffield United are a stubborn side. They seem to have found their mojo once again. These do look like two very evenly matched teams. And I can definitely see them cancelling one another out. So, yeah, I've gone for both of them. I did put Wolves draw no bet actually in an accumulator that I did yesterday, but yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards the draw now, and especially like draw half time.
Yeah, draw half time, or even maybe under 1.5 goals in the first half. There's another way to look at it, or under 2.5 goals in the game. Now, West Ham plus 115, draw plus 240, Burnley plus 275. Martin, I wouldn't blame you if you just went, move on.
I just think with this West Ham side, I just have to back draw both teams to score every time they play. They're shocking at the back. They've been shocking at the back for years. They never address that failing in the transfer market. They have got good attackers, so they play to their strength. They pour forward, they take risks, they leave gaps at the back. I do think they've got just about enough to unlock what is a strong Burnley defence. Burnley's still pushing for that European place. I think they can get on the score sheet in this one. Yeah, they're good at set pieces. They can cause West Ham all sorts of problems. So I think we could see 1-1, maybe one of the teams winning this 2-1. So I'm going to go for 1.92, both teams to score.
I mean, that seems a generous price, 1.92 for both teams to score. Not even like the Alex Classic, because I looked at this West Ham Burnley game and thought, this is just like Palace Burnley was 10 days ago, and we went under 1.5. We almost thought it could be in a 0-0. What do you think, Jeff? Because I can't trust West Ham, and Burnley, they don't score many goals.
Yeah, I don't trust West Ham either. Martin was dead on the money. I mean, it's been years on end where this defense just gets destroyed every year. But, Burnley's grinds results, guys. I mean, this team just – they don't lose. I mean, they have one loss over the last 9 games, and it was the Man City. So I don't take a lot of stock in that. This team just finds ways to get results. They dominated West Ham the first time they played. It was a real clinic for them. And I know they're without Barnes and those guys, but Ben Mee and guys up front, Vidra, they've found ways to score goals. They don't score a ton of them, but I think that leaky defense is going to help here. I'm going to go Burnley double chance, 1.7. It's not a great price, but they just don't lose. I mean, it doesn't happen often. As I said, just one loss over the last 9. I'm willing to think they can grind a result out here and at worst get a draw and we get paid.
No, I agree. I quite like that. I like the double chance at 1.7, and that might be an outside contender to join us for the 6-match parlay across the European leagues. Now, Brighton at plus 750, draw plus 400, Liverpool minus 230. Jeff, do we expect the Liverpool to come and put on a performance, or are they going to play younger lads to help them get their winners' medal?
Yeah, I've pretty much been keyed on this Liverpool team since they won the title. I thought they'd beat or struggle against Man City. They did. I thought on Saturday, obviously, they would take care of business, and they did. This is a tough spot for Liverpool. This is a team in Brighton that seem to always play up to these moments. And this is a Liverpool team we have to realize at this point just isn't very good away from home. I mean, they haven't won on the road in a while, it seems like. It's so surprising because they're so good. But, I got to wonder, is this a hangover, who cares kind of game? As we know, it's a long trip. It's one of the longer trips you'll find in the Premier League. Um, do I have the balls to take Brighton 5-1? I mean, ultimately, I don't think they'll win, and I guess my concern with taking the +1 is I think it'll probably be a push. So I'm trying to find value here, but I think if you're going to take a side to beat a good side, it wouldn't surprise me if Brighton win. I think Liverpool are just kind of at the point where who really cares at this point?
Yeah, and that is the problem, because obviously Brighton played against Man United in their last home game and they got put to the sword in a proper destructive way, Martin.
They did, yeah. It was a bit embarrassing for Brighton in the end. I don't think there was any shame in it, really. Man United just look on fire to me at the moment. As I said at the start of the video, I had Bruno Fernandes to score at any time in that one, and he just buried that free kick. The Man United front three are looking really classy at the moment. But I don't really fancy Brighton to get anything out of this game either. They played 5 times against Liverpool since they were promoted. They've lost each of them. They've got thrashed in the season they came up. I watched both games. They lost 5-1 and then 4-0. Since then, they've kept things a lot tighter. They're not getting swept aside by Liverpool anymore, but they have suffered a narrow defeat in each of their last 3 games against Jurgen Klopp's men. So yeah, I do fancy Liverpool to just grind out another low-scoring win in this one. I think they still want that record. All they've got to do is win 4 of their remaining 5 games, and they break the Premier League points record. I don't think they're going to blow Brighton away, but I do think they'll win it. So Liverpool and under 4.5 goals for me, 1.95.
Under 4.5?
Yeah,
I will
1.95.
say, Flash, that's a great bet by Martin there, but I also will say, you look at Liverpool. I mean, I know they won 2-0 the other day against Villa, but I didn't think they looked that good. To me, they just seem like they're going through the motions, and they're good enough to just field the team and win most of their remaining games. But this is just a sneaky trip. I wouldn't force betting this match. I mean, I think for the parlay, for instance, I think, Liverpool and under 4.5 probably will get it done. But I wish I was getting like 1.5 goals with Brighton, because I would be on board with that. I think they can hang around, and if they lose, I think it'll be by 1 goal. I just don't see a lot of care right now for Liverpool to win surgically, and they don't win a lot on the road.
This is another game. This is another game that I thought could be half-time draw. I thought that Liverpool would just obviously just stay, just mess about, take what Brighton's got to offer, come in, and then obviously they'll have to up it second half if they want to get the 3 points, but obviously don't give Brighton that advantage early on. So I wouldn't put anyone off of the draw half-time. I mean, it could be very dour. If it's not, then Liverpool go on and win the game comfortably. Now, Bournemouth plus 440, draw plus 310, Spurs minus 143. This has got Alex Classic wrote all over it, Jeff.
Yeah, that would kind of be where I was running with here. Southampton actually have been pretty solid away from home. We know what Everton's kind of been able to do right now. These are tough just because we're recording before the match today. So, I always like to kind of see what goes on there before I make a decision. I would probably lean that way myself. I moved on with this one as a pass, but yeah, I don't think you have anything wrong. I think both teams to score is a lock. I don't think that loses. That could be a shout for your parlay there, but for me, it's an official pass. I'm gonna move on from this one.
Okay, it's a pass from Jeff. What about yourself, Martin?
I see Tottenham beating Bournemouth pretty comfortably in this game. Thought they've been abysmal really since the restart. Bournemouth, not sure where their motivation is. They should be fighting for their lives, but they're not. We know Spurs are in bad form. Mourinho always takes a bit of a gamble when he comes out in the press afterwards and really savages his players. He really really attacked them, really laid into them. You could go two ways. They could either down tools and not play for him, but I think they'll respond with a performance in this game and go out there and beat what is a very poor Bournemouth side. So I'm going Spurs to win and over 1.5 goals at odds of 1.95.
1.95. What was you saying, Jeff?
No, I was a little confused because you said Southampton. I didn't know if you were doing the Southampton game or this game. I'm a little confused. But yeah, I like the Bournemouth game. I'm over 2.5 in that one. I mean, both teams have issues at the back. Bournemouth has been a mess defensively. I thought we were doing the Everton game. I'm sorry.
We are. Well, we're going to go to it now. But so basically, you're going with the over 2.5 goals in the Bournemouth Spurs game. At what price? 1 point.
I think it's 1.8.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, I'll tell you what, Martin, we're going to come to you. Everton plus 100, draw plus 265, and the mighty Saints at Southampton of plus 290.
Yeah, well done, the mighty Saints. I think they've been fantastic in the recent weeks. Won 3 out of 4. Couldn't beat Arsenal, of course, but they beat Norwich, they beat Watford, and they beat Man City with a great goal, really great piece of opportunism for the young lad there. But Everton have won 2 on the bounce as well, beat Leicester. So these are 2 teams that are carrying quite a lot of momentum into the game. I think it's going to be a hard-fought match between 2 pretty evenly matched sides. Again, it's another one of those games that I can see being 1-1 or maybe one of the teams winning 2-1. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to stick with both teams to score. Odds of 1.76.
Okay, both teams to score at 1.76. Jeff, you normally like Everton at home and you're not really that keen on Saints.
No, that's actually well done there, Flash. You're right about that. I like I said, it's a pass for me. I think both teams to score is probably a good shout here. I definitely would key in on that one. But, as I said, I'm just not going to force games that I just kind of like. I'll just kind of put a little bit more money on over 2.5 with Bournemouth and Tottenham. That might be my favorite play of the week, to be honest. But, yeah, I'm going to pass Everton and Southampton.
Okay then, and the last game is Aston Villa at plus 900, draw plus 450, Man United minus 271. Do we trust Man United to continue this upturn in their fortunes, Jeff?
Of course we do. Why wouldn't we? I mean, this team is
because they're Man United and their defenders are an absolute joke.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Aston Villa, scored 2 goals in 6 games. They just don't seem they have very much creativity. They seem to be going down. It's a tough year for that group. But, I thought maybe John Terry would offer something. He just sits there the entire game. That doesn't seem like he's offering much. Since February 23rd, guys, Man United, 7 of their 11 wins have come by 3 goals or more. I have no problem not only saying they're going to win, I'm not only saying they're going to win, but they're going to win comfortably. I'll lay the 1.5 goals here. I'm actually getting 2.02 on this. I'll lay the 1.5 goals. I think it's another 2 or 3-0 performance, maybe 3-1. I'll go with that here. Minus 1.5.
You have got some confidence. I just can't stand Bailly, can't stand Maguire, can't stand Shaw. Wan-Bissaka, he's properly decent, and obviously they've got a great keeper as well. But Bournemouth the other day could have scored 5, Martin.
Yeah, I think Wan-Bissaka is a very good defender. I think Harry Maguire is not as bad as you're making out. I know he's made a couple of mistakes recently.
Oh my God! Come on, boys. Harry Maguire. Oh my God! Everything is always someone else's fault. He is honestly. He's only got 1 foot, right? He's got no pace. Get him out. If Man United get to the Champions League and he plays, he's the reason that they won't. And obviously Luke Shaw. Well, you know what I'm saying about Luke Shaw, and I've known him since he was like 16.
I think left back is a key priority in the next transfer window, and I think they need a pacier defender alongside Maguire as well, because he's decent in the air. He just gets exposed on the turn. If they got a better partner for him than Lindelof, I think he might look better. Obviously he's not the most expensive defender in the history of English football for nothing anyway.
Man United, they're not known for overspending on the wrong type of talent, are they? Wow.
That's not where I see Man United's strength anyway. To be honest, Bruno Fernandes has been a revelation since he came over. My favourite word, he galvanised the squad, and the front three at the moment are just on fire. I mean, poor Daniel James can't get a look in, but Mason Greenwood looks a phenomenal talent. Marcus Rashford, we know what he's all about. Anthony Martial's banging in the goals. Paul Pogba's still not really found his best form yet, but he's going to explode back to life at some point soon, which I think spells bad news for Aston Villa, really. They've already been complaining about how the teams with the bigger squads are having a better time of it than teams like themselves. I think they're making excuses already for a defeat in this game. I'm going to go for Man United minus 1.25 Asian handicap. You get about odds of 1.77 on that. I think that looks good to me.
Okay,
Hey,
what would
Flash.
Man United and under 4.5 be, Martin?
I'll have a little look for you there, Flash. One sec.
Because I fancy that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, they don't normally get hammered, do they, Aston Villa?
No.
It's just the way Man United are going forward at the moment. They do look pretty dynamite in front of goal. It is 1.7.
Okay, so that's no good neither. Okay, big man, give me a little rundown of your bets, and if you've got a banker, that'll be great. And then I've got to try and select 2 of your bets, or mine as well, for the last leg of the 6-match parlay on SBR Sports. Let's go, Jeff.
I will say, I mean, your Luke Shaw comments were on. I think you're right there. But, I mean, Harry Maguire, I think you're a little off. I mean, he's not David Luiz, Flash. I mean, you act like he's one of the worst.
I'll tell you what,
Look,
no, he's probably a step up from David
that kind
Luiz.
of money? No, but, I mean, I don't think David De Gea is worth $20 million either. I mean, he's he leads this league salary-wise. So, yeah, I think they're definitely some of their contracts are a little ridiculous, but I like Harry Maguire. Shout out to Harry. He's a good chap. I like him. All right, Chelsea and under 3.5, even money. Arsenal to win against Leicester. Burnley double chance. Draw 3.1 in Sheffield Wolves. Over 2.5. Bournemouth, Tottenham. That's my banker. And Manchester United minus 1.5 against Aston Villa.
Excellent. Also, we've got a question in the chat. Freddie, if you can just tell me which one that I'm looking at, because I'm trying to listen to Jeff. I've got Martin. I've got 1 million people in the chat. I've got 114 watching, but I've only got 29 likes. So if you can thumbs up, that'll be great. Right, I've got the question. Martin, give me your rundown. Jack Pancake, what's your question? Should you put your house on it? Go on, Martin, you fire away. I'll find his question.
Okay, I'll just fire away then. Chelsea in the under 4.5 goals against Crystal Palace at 1.78. Watford straight win against Norwich at 1.8. Arsenal draw no bet against Leicester, 1.67. Probably going to pass that Man City Newcastle game. Draw half time in the Sheffield United v Wolves game at 1.95. Quite like a full-time draw at 3.2 there as well. Both teams to score when West Ham host Burnley at 1.92. Liverpool and under 4.5 goals against Brighton at 1.95. Tottenham and over 1.5 goals against Bournemouth at 1.95. Both teams to score in the Everton v Southampton game at 1.76. And Man United minus 1.25 Asian handicap against Aston Villa at 1.77.
Okay, and your banker?
Do you know, I'm going to go Tottenham. Tottenham and over 1.5 goals against Bournemouth. Bournemouth are terrible. If Spurs can't win that game, there's going to be an inquest.
There will be an inquest. Now, just a quick one from Jack Pancake. I want both of your opinions. It's a yes or no. He says we'll go with United, Spurs and Liverpool to win in a parlay at 2.51, Jeff. United, Spurs and Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. There are 2 or 3 I don't like. Look, I don't think Liverpool's a lock to win. I mean, we have to continue to understand they're not very good on the road. And they, again, have clinched everything. And I know, getting to the 100 points is important, but I don't think it's a major. I don't think they're going out there with the bridled intention to get it. This is a tough place to go play. I don't love that, and I have no real interest in guaranteeing I think Tottenham's going to win either. I know
No, nor
Bournemouth's
me.
bad, but
Nor
they're
me.
professionals, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm good on that. I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe we're throwing water all over Martin's banker. But before I go to Martin, Jack, I prefer Chelsea to win away than I do
Yeah.
Spurs to win away. Martin, you like United, Spurs, and Liverpool?
I mean, I have chosen all three of those teams to win, so I can't really put you off that parlay, Jack. But I would say don't ever put your house on anything. All about the responsible gambling. Yeah, put a modest stake that you can afford, and sit back, enjoy the games, and hope for the best.
Okay, so now I'll just let you know we've done 2 selections in La Liga this morning. We did 2 in Serie A, and the 2 I've selected from the Premier League is Arsenal draw no bet at 1.67 and Chelsea to win and over 1.5. I think that's the safest way to go. And the only reason I've not gone with the boys with Chelsea and under 3.5 is because I can see them going and winning 4-1 or something, because if they get their head of steam up, they just keep going forward and they've got goals and they've got pace. So I'd rather go with the over 1.5 and not be on the right side, but on the wrong side of a bet, because the team we've said a win, go and crush someone. So we're going to go with Arsenal, draw no bet at 1.67 and Chelsea and over 1.5. I ain't got the price, but I know if it's the last leg, we're going to be happy. Jeff, thanks a lot, mate. We'll see you again soon. Martin, good luck with that banker, Spurs. Let's see how they get on tonight, because I've gone with the Alex Classic. Now, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, ring the bell. Ring the bell means that we can notify you you'll never miss any content, and we need you to subscribe. If you're watching all these videos, then listen, surely we're doing our part of the bargain. And remember, link in the description will take you to the articles. And more people in North America, and Jeff's an old hat at this, and maybe he can vouch, the value you're getting on European soccer is you've got to shop around. Because I saw the other day that Liverpool win to nil was at plus 140, and I saw someone say, I've got Liverpool win to nil at plus 105. That's like a 25% difference. So go to sportsbookreview.com. You've got all the books there. Join them all if you want, and make sure that before kickoff, you're on the right side. Thanks again, gents. Thanks for everyone in the chat, and we'll see you again at the end of the week. Happy hunting. Take care.
Thank you.